Well, greetings and salutations, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. Welcome back to the second half of today's upload. Today we are going to talk about something very fascinating, intriguing, and yet terrifying all in the same sense. Genetically cloned super soldiers. Before we get into it, a couple links. As you know, I rely on Patreon, PayPal, and my merch to help the channel to continue to grow and go. The links to Patreon and PayPal are in the description below. My merch displayed directly under this video. Also, Dogman, Frightening Encounters Volume 1, 2, and 3, the audiobook versions. They were written and researched by Tom Lyons, narrated and produced by me, Jeffrey Nadolny. Those audiobooks are available on Audible, Amazon, and iTunes, the links to which are also in the description as well. Now, everyone, I have taken far too much of your time. Let's get on with today's second half. Shall we? Developers of artificial microhumans, or mini GM humans, are hoping to release their technology on the market. And no, this is not a sci-fi joke. Scientists are developing artificial humans in the same vein as GM plants, with the hope that these creations will replace the need for using animals in the laboratory testing. Artificial humans will be farmed with interacting organs that can be used in drug tests, speeding up the process of FDA and other government regulatory approvals, and supposedly without damaging rats or other animals currently used in laboratories. The GM humans will contain smartphone-sized microchips that will be programmed to replace up to 10 major human organs. Each GM human will be tiny, roughly the size of a microchip itself, simulating the response of humans to substances inhaled, absorbed in the blood, or exposed to in the intestinal tract. Early versions, comprising an artificial kidney, heart, lung, or gut, are already being used by cosmetic industry and to observe the use of chemical drugs on non-GMO humans. The Times of India reported that researchers said this could replace up to 90 million animals each year in labs. Hugh Marks, a tissue engineer from Technische Universität Berlin, the founder of TIS-Use, a firm developing the technology, said if our system is approved by the regulators, then it will close down most of the animal testing laboratories worldwide. Said currently this type of technology is already used on artificial organs like hearts and livers. But the results must be verified on a living being, animals in the lab, for instance, to prove the substances are safe when interacting with living beings with real organs. The problem with current testing, and obviously this proposed solution, is that artificial organs like animals won't respond the same way as a human body. We have already observed unforeseen side effects during human trials after animal trials that are far from safe. GM crops are a perfect example of this phenomenon. Organs cannot be divided into fake computerized components. They interact with one another. The endocrine system, the brain, the nervous system, environmental cues, emotions, and, according to advanced research, even our energetic bodies. This reminds us of how genetically modified humans are planned to be the next venture in biotechnology companies working with the United States military, with the admitted goal of producing a super soldier that does not require food or sleep to perform Olympic-style physical feats. The genetically modified humans, or super soldiers, will even be able to regrow limbs that were destroyed by enemy fire, and live off of their fat stores for extreme lengths of time. While the new GM human farms seem great on paper, since eliminating animal testing is indeed noble, they do not address possible far-reaching negative ramifications. for trying to recreate the complexities of Mother Nature's form. It seems the pharmaceutical industry and biotech don't learn from their mistakes at all. The next frontier of genetic modification is not centered around a certain fruit or vegetable, but humans, more specifically military personnel. Genetically modified humans is the next venture for biotechnology labs working with the U.S. military, with the admitted goal of producing a super soldier that does not require food or sleep to perform Olympic-style physical feats. These genetically modified humans or super soldiers will be even able to regrow limbs that were destroyed by enemy fire and live off of fat stores for extreme lengths of time. Backed by $2 billion a year in funding, the Pentagon's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA, recently unleashed the news after years of secret experimentation and study. The organization did not say whether or not genetically modified humans currently exist to such an extent. However, it is known based on previous reports that human chimeras have already been created outside of the public spotlight. Such scientific experiments have drawn fire from scientists and activists alike, who are demanding laws to forbid the creation of monsters. As of right now, DARPA has a functioning exoskeleton that enables soldiers to run far faster and handle heavy weights. This is but a step in the direction of full modification of the genetic coding of soldiers. DARPA, of course, has earned the nickname of the Mad Scientist Wing for its rampant experiments in modifying life and fusing biology and technology. In working with killer drones, DARPA earlier this year was developing research into contact lenses, mounted displays that could transport information from drones into the eyeballs of soldiers. Furthermore, the agency is also developing helmets in which the soldiers could communicate telepathically with the kill drones. The announcement ties in with the 2045 project, which I will cover shortly. The project offers immortality to the wealthy elite who financially back it, and touts artificial bodies and brains for humans to achieve immortality. This entire system, of course, ties into a larger Singularity project as outlined by the creator of the 2045 plan and others like Ray Kurzweil. In a nutshell, consciousness, singularity, can be defined by merging of all transhuman bodies into one hive mind of sort, likely a massive supercomputer of some sorts that has full control over the minds of those hooked in. It truly sounds insane, yet it is plainly stated out in the open. A number of these issues arise from this singularity plan, not to mention the fact that soldiers are slowly becoming more of DARPA creations than humans, such as the serious threat to humanity's very integrity. We've seen the many issues regarding traditional GMOs on the public health and the environment. Now what about human modification? Just what is the 2045 project? Well, ruling families and the wealthy elite have long dreamed of immortality, to preserve their ability to rule for all of eternity, with the heads of dynasties historically offering abundant prizes and gifts to those with secrets to everlasting life on Earth. One prominent Russian scientist now says that such an achievement will be possible for the wealthy elite by roughly 2045, through a concept deeply studied and publicized by researchers like Steve Quayle and Stan Deyo, often criticized as conspiracy theory or bizarre science fiction back when analysts were blowing the whistle over this privileged technology. The process involves generating fully functional holographic human avatars and transporting one's consciousness into an artificial brain. While the overall immortality process is intended to be completed by 2045, The scientist states on his website the act of transplanting a human brain into artificial body will be available in as little as 7 years. The rest of the project would extend all the way to 2045. Ran by a team of the world's leading scientists working on the initiative. On the website of Dmitry Itskov, the scientist behind the idea, the 31-year-old asks for contributions from the world's wealthiest members of society in order to accelerate his plan. These wealthy contributors will then be rewarded with the use of this technology upon completion, allowing them to live in an artificial brain and body throughout the course of history. On the website is also an image which outlines the projected process of completion. The holographic body avatar, actually available back in 2015, following the creation of a remotely controlled robotic copy of one's body in 2015, 2020 then brings the body in which a human brain can be transplanted after death. In 2030, human personality is set to be transferred directly to the Borg brain and implanted. In 2040 to 2045, the plan is set to complete with a fully fledged hologram-like avatar in which the artificial brain and body will store the consciousness of the subject. In a more detailed description, Dmitry Itskov explains on his website how these new Borg-like bodies feature an artificial brain linked to a robot, complete with a consciousness linked to an internet-esque system. Once again, this was spoken of verbatim more than 3 decades ago by analysts like Stephen Quayle and Stan Deyo. The 2015-2020 plan. This phase of the plan includes the emergence of android avatar bodies controlled with a brain-computer chip interface, likely of RFID nature. This chip would be systematically established to issue orders to the artificial body and eventually interlink with the artificial brain. 2020 to 2025 plan. This time frame involves the linking of the human brain and robot with an autonomous life support system, giving way to a new field of transhumanistic developments and further turning the human body into a bio-electronic avatar. 2030 to 2035 plan. In this near final stage, human consciousness is to be transplanted onto an artificial carrier or brain, creating cybernetic immortality. Artificial intelligence will emerge with robots likely taking the role of all military, police, and others. These robots will have their own form of artificial consciousness. 2045, the artificial brain turns into something that has no substance, linking into an internet of sorts, in which the global consciousness network is established. Humanity is set to become a new species and forfeit any form of physical materialization. Well, we've known they've been creating super soldiers with the Crispr. I've heard through different people that I've talked to that actually the Chinese are ahead of us, which is scary. If you think about that, because that's only going to make our side accelerate faster and do some real evil crap at that point. I don't know. They've been creating super soldiers for years now. There's actually a place in upstate New York that was supposedly a military installation that did underground super soldier experimentation. it's been defunct and, closed down for a long time. Actually, I believe nature has reclaimed a lot of this place. I'm going to actually look into that. It's about an hour north of me, maybe a little less, maybe 50 minutes, whatever, but an hour. And almost where I went up with myself with Tom Mezek, looking around up there on that upload in November. But I really have plans on going up there mid-spring, maybe May, when everything dries out a little bit, and go and look around and share that story with you guys. But I want to feel it out before I share anything. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's second half. I did reach out to a super soldier or supposed super soldier. I only say that because you know how people are. I believe what he says. So hopefully he and I can get together very soon. We were supposed to touch base this after Christmas and stuff, but with everything going on, I don't know. But I'm going to reach out to him maybe later today and see if we can get together and do something. So with that, my friends, please practice kindness. May the Great Spirit watch over us all, and may He guide us down that path that we call life. Until tomorrow, my friends. Until tomorrow.